I would love for you to. I don't want to say calm Kyle down because I believe you do understand the concern of the injuries going on with the Green Bay Packers, and obviously with no joint practices for Jordan Love with his thumb, the timing of this injury isn't great heading into a season in which the schedule seemingly is harder and you have pretty good opponents right off the bat. How concerned are you about these first 2 weeks, knowing that I felt like when Jason Wilde would join us a lot, he would mention last year when he wasn't on the practice field in a limited fashion, he wasn't able to take those reps, and it doesn't help a young quarterback. So how concerned are you with what's gone on for these first two weeks of the season?
Yeah, I'm much more concerned after today's news broke than I was earlier, and that's, there's no doubt a young player, and Jordan is still a young player, can use time, especially with the young receivers, and he's got a couple of rookies that you're thinking are going to be contributors. So it is a big setback. But if you're going to have something like this happen, there's a couple of positives. It's 3 weeks out. It's not his throwing hand, but it sucks. And I am concerned. I know Goody and LaFleur both painted that picture of, well, he'll be back. Yeah, the odds are he will be, but how limited and how rusty is he going to be? Because there's a reason we do training camp. There's a reason that you have all these practices, and when you don't do them, you don't get better. So now you have to put you're pouring all your time and energy into getting the thumb and getting all the mobility back and getting your strength back and having it heal the right way so that this isn't something that's going to bother you in week 5 and week 6. So I think anyone that's sitting here telling you that there's no concern, I think they're just blowing smoke up your
Yeah, I'm not blowing smoke, Tausch. I'm not blowing smoke.
There is concern, but I do think from a timing standpoint, again, till we know the extent of the damage and what that rehab and what the recovery looks like, you have 3 weeks and some change to get ready to play the games that matter. And I do think he'll be ready to go. It's just a matter of how fully equipped is he going to be able to run the offense out of, doing things not out of gun and being able to, hand the football off. All of those things that the off thumb needs to be a part of in order to execute.
Yeah, and I think it's imperative after the game that the performance that we saw from the Green Bay Packers as a team, but specifically the first team offense on Saturday, is they definitely need more time to build that chemistry, and that's something that's going to be disappointing that they're not going to have. But, Tausch, I do want to know from you, are you concerned at all about Love's track record of injuries? Because for me, I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend of a guy that may be labeled injury-prone.
No, not yet. I think obviously he missed, 2 games and then parts of 2 other ones last season. And you want your guy. I mean, we obviously in Green Bay expect our quarterbacks to play 17 weeks. That's been the standard for a long time. And, Rodgers missed some time, but it took broken clavicles to keep him out of the game. I think there is a point where you have to start looking from Jordan's standpoint, what can I do to stay healthy? There's freak things happen. Like it's smashing a hand on a helmet, that's a freak thing. And he has not missed any games yet that are of meaning, but as you continue to go on and you miss time, those questions do arise. I don't think we should be at that point where we're going to be calling him injury prone or anything of that nature, but I do think it's something that obviously needs to be monitored, and you're trying to find ways to not have that happen. And I do wonder moving forward with Jordan as our quarterback, how much will you see him in the preseason? Because you wanted to get work, you got a little work, and in that little bit of work, you're going to end up missing 3 or 4 weeks of work.
That's terrible. That's literally 2 series it took.
What do you think? You guys think he's injury prone now?
What I'm saying is there tends to be a trend.
Don't group think me into this one because I stayed way the hell out of it.
It's not group think. I'm just stating the fact, Tausch. I mean, you look at it based off his time as being a Green Bay Packer. He got hurt in 2021. He got hurt last year in 2024 with the knee. Then he hurt his groin, and then he hurt his elbow. And now he hurt his thumb. So all I'm saying is, in his 3 years of being a starter, we've seen him now. This is the 4th injury he's had in the last 3 years, and really in the last 2 seasons. It's concerning.
Okay, that's all you're saying. Respect.
Thank you, Tausch. See, I mess with Tausch like that, man. That's my home.
That's not really how you said it earlier, though. You said it different with Tausch. You're very concerned. You think he is injury prone, and you're not saying he is to him.
No. He is injury prone. Yes, he has shown to be injury prone through his time as a starter. There's facts to that, and he respects that.
Okay, fair enough. Mark Tauscher joining us here on Kyle, Brust and Ortman across ESPN Wisconsin. And Old T, right, outside of the first 2 weeks, you have an entire season, right? People are commenting, like, at least it wasn't later in the season. But I continue to go back to the practice element for Jordan Love. And do you think that based off his experience last year, that will hopefully help him this coming start of the season, because he did play through a lot of different injuries, and this one isn't of the lower body. You know, there are some like things like you mentioned under center and whatnot, like using that hand. But if his legs are fine, he can utilize those. Like I'm not panicking. I know it's a concern. It just feels like Kyle's got me in my brain of like this. The world is ending.
No, the world's not ending. It's a setback is how I would look at it. And, again, we haven't missed any time. You know, Goody is thinking he might be back next week. I feel like that's maybe a bit of a stretch. But it stinks. It's unfortunate